Well, last week our fantasy picks at the HSBC did not do too good, although you did pick Kevin Kisner tied for second,
Yep.
which was, thank goodness, because we only had one guy in the top 10 and one guy in the top 20, and our winners' picks didn't do. I picked Adam Scott, and he was awful.
Well, I picked him too. I didn't pick him to win, but you're right. He didn't help us out.
All our players made the cut, though.
They did, because there was no cut.
So the last 2 weeks, I think we got 100% on the cut making.
Exactly. So our cut making is very high this year.
So now we move to Mexico, where we've got
El Camellon Country Club.
Yeah, which is I think it's a Greg Norman design.
Yep.
And there's like 6 holes on the beach and 6 in the jungle.
Right.
It's like a really interesting course and absolutely beautiful. And that's I think one of the things that attracts players down there. It's a nice kind of resort type of course.
And they have this one huge like cave bunker in the middle of one of the fairways.
It's an underground cavern.
Yeah, it's nuts. Don't hit it in there. You'll be in there for a while.
But the defending champ, Charlie Hoffman, past winners of this event, Harris English in 2014, John Hugh in 2012. I think they canceled in 13 because of a hurricane or something.
Yeah, it was a bad weather one of those
John
years.
Hugh 2012, Johnson Wagner 2011, Cameron Beckman 2010. So these are all guys who've been up top of leaderboards for the past couple of years on tour. So I would expect to see another fairly decent name winning this thing, despite the fact that it's one of the weaker fields that we've seen yet this year. All 8 OHL Classics have been won by an American-born player.
Right.
So even though it's in Mexico, it's been the Americans that have dominated winning there.
Yeah.
This week's field includes Smiley Kaufman, who won a couple weeks ago, Matt Kuchar, Angel Cabrera, probably one of the elder statesmen in the field, Jason Bone, Fred Funk, speaking of elder statesmen. Now he won this before, so he's back on his exemption.
Yep, DL3's in, and he's been playing well.
And Russell Knox, last week's winner, which he's listed in the field. I don't even know if he's going to change his plans after winning or not, but
guys like that like to play though. It doesn't faze them at all. So.
Normally we're able to give you some DraftKings numbers with our picks, but DraftKings, probably because the Sanderson's
Farms, late,
they have not yet at the time of our show.
They haven't handicapped their picks yet.
Yeah, so this week we're just gonna, and normally we like to pick them from DraftKings too, so we could take our team and put it in DraftKings. And I think, honestly, I think I could fit my team under the salary cap. And looking at your team, I think so too. It's tough to tell. But
you never know what those bottom guys are going to get money wise, how they're going to rate them.
Let's start with our winners.
Okay.
And I'm going with the strongest guy in the field. He's won just a few weeks ago in Fiji, and it's Matt Kuchar.
Yeah.
Cooch. I'm not a big Kuchar picker in these things, but this week in this field, he's one of the only players in the field that played in the President's Cup and Ryder's Cup. He's definitely like a next level player compared to everybody else in this field. So I'm going with Cooch.
Can't argue that pick. Hopefully he does a little better than Adam Scott, because you can't argue with Adam Scott either, coming off that second. And he didn't help us, but I think Cooch is ready to have a strong performance. I'm going to go with Harris English. I like what he's been doing lately. He's won this tournament before.
I love Harris English.
Absolutely.
Good pick.
He's a great player right now, and he has 15 consecutive cuts. He's been in the top 25 in 4 of his last 5. So he's hot right now, and I like his chances. He's definitely, I feel he's strong.
And a former winner.
Yeah, strong for the top 5, but I like him to win the tournament this week. So I'm going to go with Harris English.
All right, fair enough on that pick. And now we'll give you some strong plays. Fill out your roster. There you go,
stand up.
There you go. He's got his Georgia Bulldogs
polo on. Stand up there.
Strong plays. I'm going with Sean Stefani. He finished second last year, and this week I'm not coming with a lot of stats. I'm going with a gut. Last week I had such a team that was so statistically well put together.
Right.
That I thought I had the perfect calculation. So this week I'm going gut, and I'm going with Stefani. The only stat I'm giving you is he finished second last year.
So you feel good about him?
Yeah.
So who else you got there?
Well, another guy is Martin Laird, who I think is up at the top of this field going into it. gut feeling there. I'm going with Pat Perez. I pick Pat Perez like once a month, and he always seems to do decent.
Yeah, I like that. I've seen him on Twitter lately. He's just been hanging out with his buddies out in Phoenix, playing casual rounds. He's loose. He's ready to go. I like that pick.
And then I'm going with Jason Duffner. He's had a little resurgence in his game over the past few months, and it might be time for him to get another win under his belt. You know, so I'm going with Duffner as my fourth strong play of the week.
All right, I like those, and so I'm going to go with Patton Kaziri. He was T4 this week at Sanderson, and he had a tie for second at the Shriners.
And he might follow that trend. He might be the next first-time winner coming off the his Web.com Tour Championship.
I'm not picking him to win, but I like him up to the top there, and he could probably get it done as well. As Jim said, I like Matt Kuchar. He's had 6 top 10s in his last 10 tournaments. It's hard to pick against him. So while I didn't pick him as a winner, he's definitely going to be up there as well. He's playing well. He had pretty good President's Cup, and he won the tournament in Fiji. So I'm going with Matt Kuchar. Alex Cheka, he was T2 at Shriners and T17 at the CIMB. So he's got 2 top 25s in his last 2 tournaments. He's playing well. Johnny Vegas. Half the time I think I pick him because of the name. I mean, it's just the greatest name for golf and fantasy and all that. What better name than Johnny Vegas? But his stats also do show. So he was T4 this week at Sanderson. He's 3 for 3 and made cuts with 2 top 10s. So he's playing well in addition. So
got a sleeper?
Johnny Vegas. Sleeper, I'm going to go with Jason Gore. He had a good showing at the CIMB. He had a pretty good end to the 2015 season where he had a couple top 10s and made some cuts. So my gut says Jason Gore is going to have a good week this week.
My sleeper, a Mexican-born player playing in Mexico, Carlos Ortiz.
I like it.
He had a pretty solid year last year on the tour, and so now he's entering his sophomore campaign and playing in
home country.
Home country, why not?
Seems like anybody that when you're playing in a tournament that's not traditional in the United States and you're playing in your home country, these guys seem to really show up for it. They want to do well and represent.
Country, the local fans will probably turn out for him too, in the same way they did last week in China.
Oh, exactly.
So, there you have it.
There they are.
OHL Classic at Mayakoba.
We put our stamp on it.
Good picks.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we do better than last week. We've gone every other week. We've done great and then not so good, and then great and then not so good. So this should be a great week. So good luck.
We're going to knock them down this week for sure.